For centuries, we've been told a very specific story about ourselves. That civilization is young. That true architecture began only a few thousand years ago. That before that, humanity was primitive. Surviving, not engineering. Hunting, not building. Wandering, not designing. We're taught that complex stone construction emerged slowly. First mud huts, then small settlements, then organized cities. It's neat, linear, comfortable. But what if that timeline is incomplete? What if it's not entirely wrong, but missing something? Because scattered across the ocean floor are structures that don't sit comfortably inside that story. Monumental formations beneath the waves, geometric alignments, terraces, steps, massive blocks arranged in ways that look intentional. And here's the unsettling part. Some of them may predate known civilizations, which forces an uncomfortable possibility. What if humanity reached heights of sophistication long before written history? What if advanced societies thrived along coastlines that no longer exist? And what if their greatest works are not buried in deserts, but submerged beneath miles of water? Tonight, we are not chasing fantasy. We are diving into documented anomalies, sites studied, filmed, debated. And by the end of this journey, you may begin to question whether the ocean is hiding more than shipwrecks. You may begin to wonder whether history has gaps, and whether those gaps are shaped like cities. Picture this. You descend through deep blue water off the coast of Japan. Sunlight fractures into beams. The temperature drops. Then suddenly, stone. Not scattered rock. Not coral formations. But massive, structured geometry rising from the seabed. This is the Yonaguni Monument. Discovered in 1986 by diver Kihachiro Aratake, it sits roughly 25 meters below the surface near Yonaguni Island. At first glance, it appears like a giant stepped pyramid. Flat terraces stretch outward. Sharp corners cut into the stone. Long vertical walls drop straight down. What looks unmistakably like staircases ascend in deliberate fashion. And when divers swim alongside it, the scale becomes clear. This is not a small formation. It spans roughly 150 meters in length. Height? Nearly 27 meters. Some sections resemble platforms or plazas. Others resemble corridors. There are even areas that some researchers claim resemble carved symbols. Mainstream geologists argue it's natural. They explain that Yonaguni is composed of sandstone and mudstone layers that fracture along straight lines. Earthquakes and strong currents may have shaped the formation into geometric patterns. And that explanation is plausible. But here's what unsettles people. Nature rarely produces multiple right angles in close proximity that mimic architectural intent so convincingly. Especially at this scale, then travel thousands of kilometers away to the Bahamas. There, beneath shallow turquoise waters, lies another anomaly. The Bimini Road, a half-mile line of massive limestone blocks arranged in a curved formation. Each block rectangular, some weighing several tons. The stones appear laid side by side like pavement. Some researchers argue it's a natural beach rock formation fractured by tidal forces. Others insist the alignment is too precise, too orderly, too deliberate. And then there's Cuba. In 2001, sonar scans off the western coast revealed symmetrical shapes nearly 700 meters underwater. Not shallow, deep. Too deep for conventional ancient coastal settlements, unless sea levels were dramatically different. Which they were. Off the coast of India, submerged ruins linked to Dwarka have been discovered beneath the Arabian Sea. Ancient texts describe Dwarka as a grand city swallowed by the ocean. Underwater surveys have revealed walls, anchors, and structural remains. Some dating estimates suggest several thousand years old, maybe older. So we have Japan, Bahamas, Cuba, India, different continents, same pattern, stone structures beneath water, which raises a question that refuses to stay quiet. What if these aren't coincidences? What if they are fragments, remnants of a time when coastlines were different, when the sea was lower, when cities stood where fish now swim? Let's slow down. Zoom in. Study the details. At Yonaguni, divers have documented formations that resemble massive staircases carved into bedrock, pillar-like protrusions, flat platforms that could function as ceremonial spaces, vertical walls rising at near-perfect angles. Marine geologist Masaaki Kimura has spent decades studying the site. He argues there are signs of human modification, possible tool marks, carved channels, even what he interprets as relief carvings resembling animals. Critics disagree. They argue that natural tectonic fractures combined with erosion can produce remarkably geometric shapes, and they're right to a degree. Nature can create straight lines. But here's where tension builds. At what point does geometry stop looking random and start looking designed? If a natural process creates a perfect staircase, does it cease to be remarkable, or does it demand deeper investigation? Now shift back to Bimini. Some blocks appear layered, as if stacked intentionally. Divers have reported smaller stones wedged beneath larger ones, almost like primitive construction leveling. Supporters claim it resembles a breakwater or ancient harbor structure. Skeptics argue it's fractured beach rock displaced by storms. But here's the overlooked factor. Sea levels during the last ice age were approximately 120 meters lower than today, which means vast coastal plains once existed, where water now stretches endlessly. If a civilization flourished near ancient shorelines 12,000 years ago, those settlements would now be submerged, exactly where Bimini sits, exactly where Yonaguni rests, exactly where Dwarka lies. And that's where the narrative begins to shift, because conventional history places large-scale architecture at roughly 6,000 years ago. But sea level stabilized around 8,000 to 6,000 years ago, meaning if advanced settlements existed before that stabilization, we would expect to find them underwater, not on land. So here's the uncomfortable crossroads. Either these structures are elaborate geological coincidences, or our timeline underestimates early human capability. Now we step carefully, because this is where speculation accelerates. Some researchers propose that before the end of last ice age, humanity may have reached levels of organization and engineering we haven't yet acknowledged. Not aliens, not fantasy, but humans, seafaring, observing the stars, building in stone. If so, they would have required advanced maritime navigation, stone-cutting techniques, knowledge of structural stability, possibly astronomical alignment understanding. Could such knowledge exist without writing? Yes. Oral cultures preserved complex systems for millennia. But here's where it gets provocative. What if these underwater ruins represent not isolated settlements, but a connected coastal civilization? During the Ice Age, coastlines were migration highways. Communities clustered near water for food, trade, and transportation. If a rapid climate shift occurred, rising seas could have swallowed entire cultural centers, erasing not just buildings, but memory. This is where mainstream archaeology pushes back. There is currently no definitive evidence of a global advanced civilization predating known ancient societies. But there is growing acknowledgement that prehistoric humans were more sophisticated than once believed. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, though not underwater, rewrote assumptions about hunter-gatherer capability. Massive stone pillars, carved reliefs, built over 11,000 years ago, which proves one thing: we have underestimated ancient humans before. So what else might we be underestimating? Could lost technologies have existed? Acoustic stone manipulation? Sophisticated surveying methods? Engineering principles passed down orally? Or are we projecting complexity onto natural formations because we crave mystery? That tension is the heartbeat of this investigation. Let's return to science. At the end of the last ice age, Earth entered a period of dramatic warming. Glaciers melted. Sea levels rose approximately 120 meters over thousands of years. But here's what's critical. Some of that rise may have occurred in rapid pulses. Meltwater Pulse 1A, around 14,600 years ago, may have raised sea levels several meters within a few centuries, or possibly faster. Imagine coastal settlements watching shorelines creep inland year after year, then decade after decade, until farmland vanished, ports disappeared, temples flooded, Now add tectonic instability, earthquakes, tsunamis. Asteroid impacts have also been proposed as contributing factors to rapid climate shifts. Not myth, measured geological reality. And here's the cultural echo. Flood myths exist globally, from Mesopotamia's Epic of Gilgamesh, to Indian traditions describing Dwarka's submergence, to indigenous American flood legends. Different cultures, different continents, same core memory. Water rose, civilization fell. Is that coincidence or cultural inheritance? If an advanced coastal society existed 12,000 years ago, a rapid sea level event could have erased most physical traces, except those now underwater, which is exactly where these anomalies reside. Let's ground this. There is no confirmed evidence of a lost global supercivilization, but there is confirmed evidence that sea levels were dramatically lower. Coastlines once extended far beyond current maps. Ancient humans were capable of complex engineering earlier than previously believed. And we have Yonaguni, Bimini Dwarka, Cuban sonar structures, all submerged, all debated, all challenging simplicity. Underwater archaeology is still young. Exploration is expensive. Mapping the ocean floor is slow. We've charted more of the moon than our own seabed, which means the vast majority of potential evidence, if it exists, is still undiscovered. And that's what makes this story powerful. Not because it proves a lost civilization, but because it reveals how much we don't know. Maybe these formations are natural, maybe some are partially modified. Maybe others are genuine remnants of ancient coastal settlements. What we can say with certainty is this: the ocean holds chapters of history we have not yet read. If advanced societies did exist before recorded history, what knowledge vanished with them? Astronomy, engineering principles, energy systems, or simply stories? Could fragments of their memories survive in myth, in architecture, in symbols passed down through generations? Or perhaps the greatest truth is simpler. Perhaps humanity has always been more capable than we assume. Perhaps progress is not a straight line, but a cycle. Rise, fall, rebuild. And if that's true, then what lies beneath the waves is not fantasy, it's legacy. So I'll leave you with this. Are these underwater structures natural, geological masterpieces? Or the silent ruins of forgotten cities? Comment below, natural or lost civilization? And if you want a deep dive breakdown of one specific site, type its name below, because the deeper we go, the more history shifts, and the ocean is still keeping secrets.